Welcome to Mindful Dadsplaining. It's going to sound weird because I don't have my headphones. I'm so used to it. The headphones. I can hear myself, but I can't hear myself, but I can hear myself in real life.
Okay, yeah, you have ears. We get it.
I'm being mindful.
Got it.
Anyway, so this podcast is a new one that I'm trying to put out there with my first guest, my lovely wife, who's helping me go through this first episode. It's going to be a short episode, just like 20, 30 minutes. Hopefully I'm going to make it that way. I talk too much. And what this episode is just an introduction over to what we're doing with this, what I'm trying to do, create this platform for fathers, parents in general, to come to find a place for parents to learn about themselves. And if you want to vent, whatever, if you want to do something to express yourself, this is the spot, especially if you're a father. This is raising awareness on better parenting in general, because it starts with us as human beings. When we raise our kids, the children that are just coming into this life, they don't know what the fuck is going on. They're just living off of their little fantasies and their little worlds and shit. And it's up to us, the parents, going by our experiences. I'm 31. She is, I'm not going to say her age if she's not comfortable with it. I gotta make sure.
Oh my god. This is the PC.
This is the mindful
podcast.
Dadsplaining. I'm mindfully dadsplaining everything. This is what it is. So it's a mixture of bringing mindfulness and also joking. Of course, you have to joke a little bit to have fun with it. Anyway, like I said, we're in our 30s and we have our experiences, and this is what we're supposed to do: reflect on them and raise our children into being the humans that they're going to be when they get older. I need to stop looking down there, by the way, because I'm focused on that and not that. There's two cameras that we're working with here. Distracting me. Anyway, so was that the message and the mission that I'm working with? Or do you have any...
It's your message. What do you...
I'm just making sure I got it. I just want to make sure I'm clear. You can help me. See, that's another thing. Me and her work together. This is a team. This isn't... I'm the father. And I know what I'm doing. I'm the man. It's nothing about that. It's me doing my own shit on my developing myself as a father. Sure, that's what it is. But I'm also working with my wife. She is my queen, my spouse, the person that I have to go to. Like, hey, what do you think? I need to get her into it so that we're both on the same fucking page as what couples should be doing, especially when you're raising children. Okay, and when you have the opportunity to raise children together, it's like the best thing you could do is work together with your spouse or your significant other so that you can raise this child to be a better human being than you both are. I think that's the overall goal when you're raising a kid, in my opinion, is we combine forces, we make a child based on how we make children, and then boom. Now we have to raise them into this planet. We have to bring them to this reality that we fucking learned from all of our shitty ass experiences and shit. And of course, it comes with learning along the way. Like me, I suck sometimes as a parent. I suck sometimes as a father. Sometimes I lose my goddamn temper. And she's right here to say, hey, it's not the way. Oh, yeah, you're right. And maybe I won't get it at that time, but later on I will. She's right. And I need to be mindful of that. And what do you think?
10-4. No, I'm kidding. What was your question?
My question for you...
You just laid a lot down on me.
Sorry,
so I'm trying to focus on the one
Like I said, I talk too much. But for you, I want to ask you, what makes you a good parent overall? What makes a parent a good parent? There's a parent of, yeah, you brought this human to this planet. It's great. But are you a good parent or are you a bad parent? What's the difference?
Apparently, yeah.
You can bring your jokes, your mom jokes. It's fine. I'm welcoming mom jokes.
Don't be sexist.
Okay. I'm sorry.
God, this is a PC.
I'm welcoming
Dadsplaining podcast.
Your
Don't be sexist.
Parenting jokes. You can drink your wine. Take your time.
I'm trying to focus on the question.
Okay. Again, the question is, what makes a good parent?
Well, I think what makes a good parent in general is just someone who is open-minded to the fact that you have no idea what you're doing.
Just like the kid
Parenting is for life. Like
sure.
that shit, your child could be 40 and you think you're done and you're not done.
Nope.
Every kid is different.
Right.
So what you do with your first kid might not work on your last kid. And that's you having to realize, oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
So I think that's what makes a good parent, because you can evolve with your kids and learn with your kids together rather than just, oh, I know what I'm doing. This ain't my first rodeo. Well, that's why your kids are in prison and just they don't respect you at all, because you weren't open-minded to the fact that you didn't know what you were doing. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. I'm reading. Someone just commented. What's up, Hector? He said, "You have your good cop, bad cop parenting." What do you think? Feel free to write down or type down what you think.
Yeah, but
good
I don't. But
parenting
I don't
is
even think if
for
that's
those watching live.
if that's people's approach versus the good cop, bad cop mentality. I think even that's wrong in a way, because that's showing the kids, oh, well, I'm gonna go to dad because dad's gonna let me do it because dad's good cop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
So you're avoiding one parent versus the other because you're taking the good cop, bad cop approach instead of just sit down with your child as with parents with the one child that you have the issue with, and then, oh, why did you do this? Well, me and dad think, or me and mom said. Make it about the parents coming together as a unit so that the child understands, oh, both my parents said it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're not putting one against the other because mom's the good one and I'm going to come and give you hugs and dad's yelling because he's crazy. No.
Yeah, we do it all the time where our child will come to me. Let's say the son will come to me. Dad, can I do this? And I say, let's talk to mom first. Because it's not that I want everything to go to you. You make all the decisions. It's me going to you because I'm like, I would say yes, but I want to make sure mom is okay with this. Just like if we're going to have some ice cream before we eat. Obviously, I know that we shouldn't eat ice cream before we eat. We need to eat first. Mom is cooking. But if mom isn't cooking yet, or if I'm not cooking, whatever, let me go to you. Babe, what do you think? He wants ice cream. You okay with that?
Right. And it's also because I could have had a conversation with one of our kids that you didn't hear.
Right.
So I could have already said, no, you're not getting it.
Right.
And kids like to be sneaky. So this is why they'll go to the other parent thinking, well, he doesn't know mom said no, so let me try this one here.
Yeah. Kids
and
are
then
sneaky.
dad's going to say yes.
We were all kids.
And then I'm going to look at him and say, I just told him he can't have that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now it's again, they're like playing the parents against each other. And if we're a team, we need to work together and not against each other, because that's not going to help the situation at all.
That right there is another important point that I wanted to, I didn't think about bringing up, but right there, is the overall message with human beings being together while raising kids is making sure you fucking trust your spouse enough to work together because your kids, it's not their intentions to make you guys go insane, but when the kids do things based on the way they think things, they will go to the mom or the dad, whatever, and do whatever they do. And then it's up to us to have a foundation together, the communication thing, my 3 pillars of a relationship philosophy. As long as we have our pillars locked down to we trust each other, we're communicated to each other, and we're loyal together, we're not fucking each other over behind each other's back because our kids is, oh, well, dad, let me go to mom because dad doesn't like me doing this and whatever, you know what I mean?
Right. And I don't think kids do that maliciously.
Yeah,
I don't think that they wake up thinking they want to be sneaky. I think I was going to say crime of opportunity. It's a chance of opportunity because kids want to get what they want. It benefits them to ultimately get at least one parent to say, you can have ice cream. You didn't eat yet.
Right.
So I don't think they're doing it maliciously. I just think they want what they want, and they try to play their parents.
Right. They're little humans, man. They're like little. So it depends, like, on the difference of them. We have 3 kids, and we're working with 3 different human beings with different minds, man. It's like a different universe. I don't want to get too deep into. This is the mindful dad explaining right here, where it's. If you think about how complex the universe is, where there's multiple planets in the solar system and all that shit, we don't understand shit where it's out there. We don't know if there's aliens. We don't know shit. That is their brain. That is their, literally, if you look up the neuroscience of how the brain works, there are trillions of cells operating and functioning. What the fuck? That's a new word. Functioning in their minds. And that's one person. And I'm the other person. And she's the other person. And we're working with 2 other persons over there. multiple universes, man. Mind blown. That's what we have to understand. If we look at it like that as the picture, we learn that, oh shit, okay, so we're not gonna raise all three of our kids in the same fucking with the same rule set. It's just one fucking piece of paper. That's it. It's one.
No, I mean, I think within reason, yes. If they're all in the same house, right? Fine. The same parents, fine. Their structure is going to be the same.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So you're raising your kids foundationally based on the same system. However, the way things are perceived, like with girls, their perception of things is different than boys.
Right.
So you have to be a little bit more. I fucking hate the word sensitive, but that's the word for the sake of the conversation. You have to be a little bit more sensitive with your conversating because it can be perceived in a wrong way when you weren't meaning it in a wrong way. Right. Boys, you might have to repeat it because they won't get it the first time because it's just like, what? Or they just weren't listening because their attention span was just like, can I play the game now? It's like, so you didn't hear anything I just said.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You didn't process it. Yeah.
So that's when your approach to things has to be different. But foundationally, yeah, you would raise your kids the same.
Right.
You know, you have a structure. You go to bed at this time. You're up at this time. You're going to school. You're doing your homework. That's a structure.
Right.
So all of them should have that.
Yeah. So you're saying that we need, I agree. I totally agree with you. We need a foundation. That's what we do. My brain just goes where it goes and you correct it and that's great. So we have the foundation, but we're not making the foundation solid where we can't change, we can't fluctuate and manipulate, where we can make it work out for all of us as a whole, as a family.
Because we know kids age, and with aging comes fluctuation in the foundation.
Yes.
When you have teenagers and your kids get older, you're giving them more freedom because they're gonna, now they want to go and do things with their friends and things like that. So you're gonna have flexibility in your structure at that point.
Right.
But you're still going to have rules too. Your child's going to have a curfew, right?
For sure.
Your child's not going to be out at midnight at 16 years old for what? Get your ass home. So, yeah, but that's what goes back to earlier. That's what makes someone a good parent. Mm-hmm. When you can acknowledge and compromise and realize you fucked up, or knowing that you don't know everything every time. Every situation's different all the time.
Right. I don't want to change the subject, but you know what I'm thinking about right now? The tiny home, remember? The tiny home? When the man looks at the woman, he looks at her, just please everything she says, like...
Please don't. Stupid.
She's right. Just listen to her. I'm the dumb one. Don't listen to me. No, I'm literally thinking of that, though. Like, no, stop saying literally. I think of that. Now I'm paying attention of that, and it's in my head. I can't stop laughing in my head. But it's just, if you guys haven't seen Tiny Home, what is it? Living Big in a Tiny Home? Mm-hmm. Living Big in a Tiny Home. Watch it. It's great. It's for, because we want to live in a tiny home in the future, as long as how long, that if we get to live that long. If you watch that shit, the YouTube series, you'll see that the men usually are sitting there like, just looking at their wives, staring at their wives. And I'm staring at her because I'm trying to make eye contact and just talking. But there's a difference between just staring at your wife while she talks. Like, it's just weird. It looks set up. Anyway, that's besides the point. Getting back to what we were just talking about, though. Overall, the foundation is essential for parenting. And this is what we learn together no matter what. We're forming the building blocks of our so to speak community of this family. So I bring up Game of Thrones as this is our what do you call that? Our castle, right?
Our house.
Our town.
Didn't they use house as a reference?
Yeah, house. This is our house, right? This is obviously it's our home. But in the Game of Thrones perspective, where they have the castle and then they have the town and everyone
is village.
The village. Thank you. I was looking for that one. Couldn't get the village. It's just mindful dadsplaining here.
And that's why I'm here. You're welcome.
Yes. Anyway, the village. So we have to protect that village, right? We have to, as the king, right, and the queen, we have to work together. I just say, look, I need to make sure we protect our people. Blah blah blah. You say we also make sure, whatever your side of it is, to make sure that we're balancing this foundation of life that we're living with our family here. This is House Rodriguez in his house, right? Whatever. This is not about men. It's men. I'm the man of the house. It's what we say. No, we work together where me and her, work together so that we can raise our kids the way we want to raise the kids. We are learning every day that the fucking challenges that our kids give us, what is the word I'm looking for? The kids are doing things differently. Like, oh my God, this is a new challenge. I can't take it. And then I'm like, wait. I'm the parent. I got to make sure I fucking do this.
Parenting doesn't just teach you about other human beings, but it also teaches you about yourself.
About you. Self-reflection.
What?
Self-reflection, man. I learned a lot. This is why I'm doing this podcast too, because this Mindful Dadsplaining, because I'm able to reach out to other fathers, man, other parents that like, yo, let's all collect all this shit that we're learning and like build upon it so we can have our own community of great parenting. And because the kids, man, they fucking matter. Like this is a new future for them. We didn't have cell phones back then in the 90s. We didn't have technology that we have today where I have 2 fucking cameras in front of me and a microphone. We never had this. And the kids didn't have this. As kids, I mean, now the kids have it and we are like, wait, they're on the tablets too much. We need to control a little bit the tablet time and make sure they're not.
Well, yeah, there's a
stuck on their
tip.
Screens and shit.
There's a tip for parents. $0. Very basic. Pay attention.
Pay attention.
Just pay attention.
Be mindful.
What are your kids doing all day? Are they on tablets? Why? What are you doing? Do you give them the tablet because you're on the tablet? You know what I mean? We also have to acknowledge our parents didn't have their phones either. Mm-hmm. So they were attentive. They were paying attention. They didn't have their face in a phone all the time like parents now.
Right.
Pay attention.
Pay attention.
Pay attention.
I'm going to call the episode Pay Attention. That to me is essential. Like I guess you want to call it a rule or whatever, but when you think of a foundation of a community or a town and that your house, whatever your last name is, or whatever name you want it to be, house, whatever, of Game of Thrones. Think Game of Thrones. If you watch Game of Thrones, come up with a logo, an emblem, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to do. You don't have to be hyped like me. I would be hyped. And I'm thinking about doing that here, even though I might just make my logo, whatever. Overall, use that metaphor and apply that to your life as a parent with your spouse. If you're not with your spouse, this is a different challenge. This different field that I lack perspective of. This is why I'm doing this podcast, so to speak. I'm reaching out to the stepdads. I'm reaching out to the dads that are single. I'm reaching out to the dads that are married. I'm reaching out to every fucking specific dad that exists. The dad that is not a good dad, it doesn't matter. I'm not judging. I'm just here to try to talk to dads in general, just so we can all work together, man. The dads that want to be mindful and want to do better for themselves because they want to raise their kids, actually. I'm not talking about the bad dads. The bad dads, I can't help them. I'm not talking about bat dads. I'm talking about bad, B-A-D dads.
Oh, my God. First dad joke. Please, no.
Of course this podcast would have come out dad joke.
That was awful.
Bad. Come on. Why is that bad?
You need really?
Gotta get some dad jokes in here.
No. Wow. Better ones, though. Better ones. Dads.
Baghdad.
Better ones, though.
I wonder if bad dads are from Baghdad. Another dad joke. Go.
And we can just end there and just log off.
Oh, that was so powerful. I wonder if bad dads are from Baghdad.
You got no reactions. No one cares. No.
I know, but still, I have to say it. It's funny to me, my brain. Anyway, overall message is pay attention to the kids, obviously, and learn, man. Continue to learn. That's it. That's what it is. It's just learning. The learning doesn't stop. When you graduate from high school, when you graduate from college, when you graduate from whatever the fuck you graduated from, you accomplish something. That's great. Guess
Unless you're woke, then you know everything.
Now,
right?
Yeah.
That's what I was told. I'm apparently not woke because I'm figuring shit out every day of how to do something.
If you want to limit your ability to think and improve yourself as a human being, you can limit yourself all you want. You have every freedom, every right to do what you want, man. Like, if you want to be a mindful dad or a mindful parent, mindful mother in general, you have to learn how to be open to growing, to allowing someone to talk, to speaking with people, having a conversation. It's not about me lecturing or me telling you what you need to do as a father or her saying what you need to do as a mother. It's about listening, exploring, discovering, learning, just growing with each other. This is what conversation is all about, man. This is not about me fucking thinking I'm better than anybody. I'm not better than anybody. I'm trying to be better than myself. I'm focused on that. That's what I need to do. Better than who I am today. Let's improve the William so that the William tomorrow, if he exists, if he continues to exist, that means if I'm still alive. Let's keep doing it. That's my mental attitude that keeps me going. I get that from martial arts. I get that from just thinking critically about my actions. Whatever I do in my life, I am constantly learning about things like, holy shit, I'm different than I was 2 days ago. It's funny how that worked out. Speaking of parenting, paying attention, we're doing this podcast, but we're still mindful that our child is next to us.
Well, there's a person here, another one?
Oh my God.
Weird.
We have a child. We have a child!
Wow.
Anyway. I forget what I was going to say. I think that's a lot of them. That was a great, ready fucking first episode, 22 minutes in. What's going on? It's not. That's your sister. Sisters come in and I got to say something.
Okay, no, she needs to stay away because this is not for her.
Sister Gina is trying to come out and she's over there. Just keep her over there. Anyway. So we kind of went over the basics of what makes a good mindful parent, so to speak. There's so much more you can learn from that. But, I mean, you're going to learn that as you listen to this podcast. That, you know, if I reach out to fathers that want to join this episode, to join this podcast, then that's good, man. And that's all I'm trying to do is just get more parents on here. Tomorrow I may have a mother. I forget how many kids she has, but she may join the podcast. So I'm free. I'm open to having mothers join in. Don't sound too upset. That's just me. I'm not upset. I'm joking around. And Sister Gina is, I don't want Sister Gina to know what's going on. I'll just keep her over there. Real fast. I don't want to lose my train of thought. Men stepping up for our children and their future. Why did I write that? Men stepping up. Oh, that right there. Men stepping up for their children and their future. That's the whole point of this podcast. All the men that want to like reach out, yo, I want to join your podcast. Let's talk about fathers and shit. Let's talk about fatherhood. Let's talk about getting together and collaborating our thoughts and ideas to help us benefit our children's future, man. It's not about just me, macho man. I'm macho. It's all about being man. No, it's about us. Stop being bitches.
Sometimes if somebody broke into our house, I hope you're not going to stand in the corner and cry and look at me.
No, I'm going to fucking risk. I'm throwing my life away to fucking sacrifice to protect my children and my family. That's someone broke into my castle. What am I going to do? Oh, my God. I'm scared. I'm trained to balance, but I'm scared it's actually happening. Oh, my God.
You're stupid.
Where's my mask? No, I'm not doing any of that shit. And I don't know what's going to happen. Who knows? God forbid somebody breaks into our house one day with a gun, with a weapon. What am I going to do? My body, my mind, I have to prepare myself before that. And there's the other thing I could talk about on this podcast.
You know what
you do to train yourself as the man you are, who is capable of destroying somebody with
you
your
know what
hand.
you could do?
Huh?
You know what you could do if that did happen?
What?
Just scream really loud. I have coronavirus.
Right?
He'll leave in a second. Cooties! Cooties!
Oh, or I don't have a mask. You can't come in this house. I don't have a mask. Oh. Call the police, even though they're defunded. Oh. The police has.
Or
been
they break
defunded,
into your house with a fucking shotgun, and you're just like, you're not wearing a mask. You need to put your mask.
This is not Dead Pigeon Podcast. I repeat, this is not Dead Pigeon Podcast. Get it together.
Breathe.
Mindful Dadsplaining. Mindful Momsplaining. Mindful Parentsplaining. This is what this is. Okay, back together.
How about this then? Do you think kids need a mother and a father?
A kid. Okay, that's a conversation to have. I ask all of you, whoever's watching, please write in the comments what you think. This is a question for you, whoever's watching. Thanks for watching, but this is a question. So ask that question again.
Do you think kids need a mother and a father?
Do you think kids, our children, need a mother and a father present? And the question is because the balance of men and women and
perspective and experience.
Now, this is a hard conversation to have because you have women and women together. It's fine. They're raising children, and you have men and men together, and they're raising children. And it's like the possibilities are endless with everyone's own reality of what is what. Non-binary. We're not against. I'm not talking about all that stuff, but I'm just trying to say that when you have this. opposite gender thing, whatever we are, man, woman and man, and we're working together to speak with our children, does that matter to you? I mean, the question overall is, do you think a mother and a father should be present, or do you think it doesn't matter? You think that, whatever you think, just write in the comments, whatever you think, and we'll discuss our own selves what we think. I'm just opening the doors for anybody who's watching to join the conversation. Overall, what I think personally is that you need someone. It doesn't matter what the gender is. I think what matters is that the couple is able to, like we just talked about, has a foundation there where it doesn't matter what it is as long as they provide the balance. Now, me as the father, I know what I know. I'm mechanically engineered to do things. I'm whatever, you know what I mean? Like I can fucking fix things, so to speak. I can want to fix things. I can want to philosophize. I can want to do whatever the fuck I want to do.
You don't want to watch Glee, though.
I don't want to fucking watch Glee. I'm sorry. I'm not watching fucking Glee. I'm not watching fucking Glee. Now, my daughter, who's 3, she puts on Glee. And I'll sit there and like, oh my God, she's really watching this shit. Because she wants to watch. And I want to mention Nana's comment. She says, all of above, it all depends on the situation. I agree. It does depend on various factors. But I think the point to raising children is, again, like I said, having that foundation of what the balance is between whatever we, like me and her, doesn't matter. I have my experiences as a man. She has experiences as a woman. We collaborate and we raise each child differently, or we're like we talked about earlier. What'd you say? What was that word you said?
What?
Just having that foundation, basically, as the base, and then we work our way up. It's like fucking Jenga in a way. We put that together, put that, and then not Jenga. It's not a good metaphor. It's like we're putting something together and then it falls and Tom was fuck. Okay, let's try this then. And then it falls and it gets bigger and bigger until it becomes what it comes. And then we just have to protect that. Make sure no one tries to break that apart, including our children. And we learn that when they do break it apart, like, fuck. As long as we still have that base, it's always going to be there. And that's what we need to make sure we apply that to our parenting. I think that makes sense.
I think the balance with, mom and dad is beneficial. Absolutely beneficial. Again, I think it's because it's a perception, like how things are perceived. The way I perceive things as a female is different than the way you perceive things. So who do you think is going to benefit Jazz more if she had an issue with something? It's good to come to you, but your perception might be off to where I'm going to tell her something and she's going to say, "Oh, mom was right." You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's just how you're looking at the situation. Right. Like dudes look at situations to where they're always looking for a solution to something, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they're constantly seeing a problem. They just want to solve it. The female wants to talk about the problem through its entirety before finding a solution to it. You know what I mean? So it's about acting and then listening. So that's why I think moms are good, because moms can sit and listen and have a conversation with the kids, and they can do that, like the gentle stuff like that. Dad is more of just like, were you done with your story? I mean, we can solve this like right now. Yeah. We could kick his ass,
So yeah, and I'm opening that because it could be for, I guess it varies with the human being itself. Like whether it's stereotypical for the moms to be nurturing, and stereotypical for the fathers to be like, are we gonna take action or something, or let's just do it and figure it out? It depends on various perspectives of the human being itself, whatever. Like me, I would want to communicate with my child who is suffering. I would love to be their therapist, so to speak. I am a therapist of myself, therefore I would be a therapist to my children, of course, without a doubt. I've learned everything I learned. Let me fucking be there for my child and not ignore what the problem could be. And I'm doing something beyond that where I'm providing stuff for the child to, hey, you can communicate with me. Be mine. If you wanna just talk to mom, talk to mom. Like I'm speaking to my daughter, my oldest daughter. I'm telling her, or our oldest daughter, I'm telling her, hey, speak to mom. If you don't want to speak to me, if you don't want to speak to your own dad, and if you want to, because just to clear that up, I am a stepfather, but I consider my daughter as my daughter. I don't care about the stepfather stuff. I just care about I'm the father. I don't care. But her biological father, if she's scared to talk to him, she can come to me. If she's scared to talk to me because it's just a female thing, whatever, go to the mom. without a doubt, go to the mom, please. At least communicate. I get that in there, that seed. I plant it,
and that's fine. But that's what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's why it's more beneficial when kids have that balance, because there's always a preference. There's always a preference, and there's always another option.
Right.
You know what I mean? A young girl who has two dads, she might be in a conflict of like what she's comfortable telling her dads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could cause, her to be standoffish and just like, I don't want to say anything, especially when you have two dads that yell.
Yeah.
Then it's just like, who do I talk to? Because
they're
not being sensitive and open-minded. They're just yelling at the situation and they want to kill someone.
Right.
So they don't want to talk. They won't open up.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I myself need to work on, is when my child, who's 10 years old, she's going to be a teenager soon, and I need to make sure our relationship, my 3 pillars of a relationship philosophy, is still there. I didn't destroy it myself by yelling at her, cursing her out. I curse, I swear, I get angry, and then I do things that I didn't mean to do, and I need to apologize and address it right there in the moment, or when as soon as I can, to make sure that my child is not scared to tell me anything now. Because the moment I yell at her, and now she's like, fuck, I don't want to tell my dad anything because he just yelled at me. What the fuck's the point? So that's why I'm on top of myself. And I still do this to this day. I still do dumb shit. I'm like, fuck. Oh my God. Okay. Collect it. You're wrong. Apologize. Show her you care. Show her, give her your overall message as a father. You're a better man than this. You're a better person in general. Empathy, compassion, all that shit. Show you love. And if I don't catch it, she will catch it, of course, and she'll come at me, and I'm like, fuck, God damn it.
How about this? You want to know why the balance is good? Go back to that movie that we watched that you fucking hated.
What movie?
Fear.
Oh, Fear.
With Mark Wahlberg. See, the mom was dumb. The mom was just as naive, and the mom was like, oh, well, would you rather she sneak away? I think it's fine if he comes to the house. And the guy was cuckoo, and the dad was the only one who was like, this motherfucker here is on some shit, and I need to beat his ass. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's always one parent, no matter who you are, what you want to think of yourself, and what you want to say, there's always one parent whose judgment is off in something.
Yeah.
And that's why you need that other person to kind of like,
I think
this person's crazy.
I think that answers the question to whether the woman and the man should be together to raise a child. I think overall, we need 2 parents. It's hard as fuck to be a single parent. It's not that I'm not against single parents. Whatever you do, you have to do. I'm not saying you need to be with another person to raise a child. It's being mindfully aware of that situation there. When a single child, there's statistics on this shit about when a son is raised by a mother and the son doesn't have a father. What happens? What usually happens? I don't know if you can correct me on this. I don't know the facts, but supposedly that when it happens, the child needs the father.
I mean, look, there's
or whatever.
You can look up in regards to what he's talking to in regards to statistics and all that, but like example, some of these really famous serial killers supposedly didn't have their dad around.
Right.
They were just raised by their mom.
Right.
Not saying that single mothers are,
they're doing what they can.
Bad, yeah. Right.
I was raised by a single mother.
You're doing what you can. However, having that other side of it does help. That was overall the question was, do you think the mom and the dad is beneficial to a child's upbringing and structure? I think yes.
Yeah, it's beneficial.
I think it is.
I think 2 people in general is good. Doesn't matter if you're a man and man. I don't know. Again, I lack perspective. I would love to have a gay couple come on the show, whether there's 2 females and 2 males or transgender. I don't care what you are. If you have perspective that I lack, I am open to listening to your voice as a parent. And that's what I'm opening up this shit for. Because I want to learn, man. I want to see what else out there that we can help each other. These are questions that we can answer by testing our own experiences. Like I have this philosophy that we are all of us, our own scientists. If you want to learn something, do it. You figure it out. Oh, this worked for me. Okay. Or no, it didn't work for me yet, but I'm still testing it out. I'm testing the sauce here. It's like you're cooking and you're trying to like mix shit up and seeing what works. And like, oh, this is good. This is a good recipe. And that's what I think overall what parenting is. We're finding the recipe so that we can mix and match. And then we have our base, but now we can layer this over the bricks and then see how that solidifies that and see if it works and see what happens. Overall, the message with 2 parents, 2 people is definitely better than 1 for sure. In my opinion, depending on the person, of course, depending on the people, if me and her are connecting and we get it, man. We work together, man. We're uniting. We're uniting as a team. We're not against each other. And some days I may be against her, or some days she may be against me. But overall, our foundation is critical. Communication, loyalty, and trust. We have that right there. And just like, that's important. And we have that, and it allows us to move on and trek on together. If I disagree with her with something, I will talk to her. Like, hey, I disagree. But what is that word? Compromise. We'll compromise to a situation to make sure that we can progress. And that's what this Mindful Dadsplaining podcast is all about. I think, did we answer all that? We didn't leave anything. I was talking about something earlier and I forgot. But overall, man, I'm looking for men out there, fathers, women, whatever you are. If you're a parent, and even if you're not a parent, but you were raised the way you were raised, and you learned from your own parents, you can still have this conversation. Now, this perspective with the people who are not parents, to raising a child yourself, me included. Before this, I didn't want kids. I didn't want to be a father. I thought, like, fuck this. I'm not dealing with baby mama drama. I'm not focused. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to have to pay child support. I'm scared of that shit. It scared me. I didn't want to deal with that. And look what happened. I found this wonderful person that we have a great relationship, and we're working together, and we created something amazing together. And now we're working together, and I'm like, wow, I totally did not expect any of this shit. She busts my balls. She does whatever she does to make me a better person. She's not in front of me putting a fucking wall saying you can't fucking cross that wall, William. She's opening the door for me to say, oh my God, I did not think of that. You're right. And sometimes whatever she does, and we'll talk and we'll figure shit out, man. That's what parenting is to me. It's just working together, right?
You remember that famous saying, takes a village?
Yeah.
In regards to raising kids, because back then,
we were literally just talking about that earlier.
Village, yes.
Yeah.
The grandparents, the aunts and uncles, all that stuff. Nowadays, it's just, don't say nothing to my kids. Okay, well then get your kids' lives together.
Right.
You know what I mean? Parents can't stand to be critiqued now, which is why they're not evolving and they're not expanding, because they're telling themselves they have it figured out.
Right.
I already know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But when it's brought to their attention, hey, your kid's kind of an ass, they don't like that.
Yeah. That's the thing, is the ego, man. And this is the mindful dadsplaining here, is the ego will tell you as the parent, I'm a parent. I know what I'm doing. I'm 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, and I've been parenting for 10, 20, 30 years. Dude, you're going to continue to fucking learn as a parent. I don't give a fuck who you are. You're going to learn every goddamn day, unless you don't want to, until you fucking die. And that's what you do as a human being. That is allowing you to progress in life. When you continue to learn, expand your mind to the possibilities that allows you to grow as a person, rather than limiting your capabilities. Because I know what I learned. I learned this in school, and I learned this in the what do we follow? What's that called? The baby thing that we follow?
Baby center.
The Baby Center. I learned from the babycenter.com website that I'm not supposed to yell at my kids because it's bad for the psychology. And it's like, that's great. You can look up all this stuff. We follow that. Babycenter.com, whatever. I looked at that since the day my daughter was born, and I learned from it. But what I did do is not just sit there and say, "Oh, you didn't
put all your eggs in that basket." Right. They're giving you somewhere to start, yes. And if that doesn't work, try something else, because you ultimately know your child more than Baby Center.
Right.
More than an article.
I picked the egg. Does it work? Nah. Throw it out. Pick another egg. That's good. Keep it there. You get your basket of eggs until you collect enough of what you want, and then you do what you want with the eggs. That, that metaphor is getting crazy, but overall is that foundation that I'm talking about earlier, and then building what you can together with your significant other, especially if you're together with someone, and if you're by yourself, that makes it so much more harder. And my hat's off to all the women and men out there by themselves, raising their own child by themselves, or especially the baby daddy mama, whatever, the drama with, you're not there for my child, so I'm gonna put you on child support or whatever. And it goes both ways, but both ways, by the way. I always thought it was just the men facing the issue with what's that called, child support, but moms face it too, apparently. I didn't know. I don't know anything about that. I like perspective, but overall, it just sucks that single parents have to raise their kids by themselves because they can't find a partner that works for them. And this is why, again, this podcast is trying to open the door for growing and learning. Fuck it. If you're a single parent, maybe you might learn from this. Maybe you might get something from this. If you're a single parent and you got enough of confidence to join me in this discussion, come on this podcast, man. Join it. I don't give a fuck who you are. Single parent, married, not married, gay, straight, whatever you consider yourself. As long as you're able to communicate with me, you're not a fucking warrior behind a keyboard, and you're not gonna be able to do that when you talk to me in person. This is why I welcome people on my podcast. Just putting that out there. I host 3 podcasts now. If you want to talk to me, you can talk to me here about dads, about parenting. If you want to talk to me about philosophy and life and mindfulness and meditation, William knows nothing. That's for that. And Dead Picture Comedy is what we're doing, where we're just making fun of shit because we're having fun. All right, that's what this is all about. It's learning, having fun, being a fucking human being. That's what we got to do, man. I don't know what else to say about that, but I'm losing my train of thought. You got anything else on that? Because I went all over the place. I apologize. I talk too much.
I mean, I think people really need to focus on realizing that parenting, you can't be selfish with parenting. You know what I mean? It's not about you. It's about the child.
For sure.
It's about the child.
Right.
So whatever you are... separate it. Parenting and marriage is separate.
Right.
So whatever you're going through in your marriage with your spouse, that's not the kid's fault. Mm-hmm. So don't treat the kids and bring the kids into it and put the kids, what did dad say? Don't do that shit. Don't do that, because they're going to resent you later when all they wanted to do was be a kid and they're fucking relaying messages back and forth between mom and dad. Don't do that.
Wait, can you go a little more deep into that? Like, what do you mean by that?
What do you mean?
Like, give me an example, like a live example that we've been through that you're saying not to do that.
In general, right? Just separate parenting from marriage, because they're 2 different things. Because parenting is not about you. That's why you have to separate it.
Yeah.
Like I said, when spouses are going at it, what are you bringing the kids into it for?
Right.
They had nothing to do with it.
Right.
They didn't hear how you were talking to me or what I said to you.
Right.
Separate it. Because people, I think they get in their feelings and they get selfish. And like you were speaking about single people and, child support. Let him see his kids or let her see their kids.
Yeah, don't get in the way.
What's the point? Oh, you didn't get a fucking check this month, so they don't get to be with their parents? It's not about you.
That's a whole different conversation, because I had experiences of that where emotional response. I didn't get to spend too much time with my father. Long story, but keeping it short. I didn't get enough time to spend with my father. My father is his own person. And I'm not judging him, because he's raising his own family and that's his business. And it's great. I'm like this with him. Good, man. Keep doing what you got to do. You have to do what you got to do. Too much space between you two. Hey, don't you dare criticize us. We're leaving enough space for the I don't know what we're doing here. We're just our first episode.
Well, I created distance because I got
social distancing.
I got hot
That's
sauce
what it is.
last time.
She got hot sauce last time. So she's right. Social distancing, and this is not the Dead Picture podcast.
Damn, dog, you ain't even wearing a mask either.
I'm not wearing a mask, and I gotta make sure I'm protecting my wife. Anyway, long story short, I've been through my own experiences, and this is why I want to do this show, because I grew up wanting to be the father that I didn't have. And I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not blaming my mom and my dad and my fellow peers, whatever, in my past. I'm thanking them for teaching me all that they have taught me, so that I can reflect and say, okay, well, what can I do today so that I could be the better father that I can be? What can I do to be the better human being, man? It's not about fucking... Nice wine. Cheers. Cheers, man. Whatever you're drinking, man. What can I do to improve? And then blah, blah, blah. I do my own science. I am my own fucking scientist. I do what I got to do. I've fucking come so far because of her. I'm thankful for her. And I'm not trying to suck her off. Like, oh my God,
whoa,
my wife.
That's a different podcast.
My God,
Yikes.
my wife. Oh my God, praise my wife. But seriously, I'm grateful for my wife, man. She fucking showed me the ways that I did not see. First of all, she showed me the ways of like having a family. When the moment before I met her, I didn't want kids. Especially I didn't want to be with someone who had kids already. And then I saw she had one kid already, and she was having another one on the way. And I was like, no. And my ego was like, nah, bro, I'm not ready for that, man. And then, long story short, here we are today. I have a kid of my own with her, and we have 3 beautiful kids that we raised together. It was a challenge, and it's all fucking like, holy shit, all the pieces are falling into place like what it is.
Oh my God.
Oh, thank the Lord of Apollo P. This is not Dead Pigeon.
Look at his quote.
Behind every good woman is a good man. That's true, man. Like, we find every good woman, dog. That's so fucking true right there. And I'm not making this about women, man. It's all about women. No, it's about behind every good human being is another good human being, because you can learn from each other. I think it doesn't matter whoever, like me being a good human being that I want to be. She's inspired by it. She can learn from me. Her being a good human being, I can be inspired to learn from her. That's how it works, man. Instead of this fighting shit, instead of this, oh, you said, she said, that said, this said, let's get the government involved.
And how does that connect into parenting? Because our kids' first example of what to exhibit in your life. You know what I mean? We are the first example for our kids on what they might look for in a partner, the way they want to be treated, and the way they're going to treat others. Yeah. We are that first example for them.
Right. We are it, man. We see this, and I'm getting to this. This is a nice little transition into this, because I brought up the government earlier. I said we can't rely on the government to do what we got to do. We have the government there in place as a base. We shouldn't go to the base all the time and say we need to go to this and blame the government. No, like, okay, I know there's a lot of shit that needs to get worked on, but that's not it. I'm curious who's this speaking. I can't remember. I'm Will. This is Andrina.
He knows you.
Oh, I can't remember who you are. Like, I got your name, and I'm like, wait, who? I have to look at your profile. It's so funny as shit. Anyway, I'm Will. This is Andrina, my wife, and this is the Mindful Dadsplaining podcast, episode 1. This is a different podcast other than the 2 that we already do. Me and her just do one. It's called Dead Pigeon Comedy, and then I do one solo. It's called William Knows Nothing, where I invite other guests, blah, blah, blah.
Which, stay tuned, because Dead Pigeon is coming up
Dead Pigeon is coming up after this with another guest that I'm not getting involved with that one. So let's just say that. Anyway, I want to close this out because we're already about almost an hour, and
you can close out with a quote. Remember, you asked me a quote.
What was the quote?
You asked me what quote did I ever hear that like stuck with me.
Okay, hold on, wait. Let me finish up with the government thing, and then you close out with the quote.
Okay.
All right. So the big daddy, government, president. I think this is another episode that whatever it can go. This thing can be a whole hour talking about this shit, but overall, stop relying on presidents. Stop relying on the government. Stop relying on Big Daddy to save you.
Stop relying on a leader in general. Like, lead yourself.
Make suggestions. Hey, you speaking, may I make a professional suggestion? Throw whatever professional suggestion you have. Just be mindful that I'm taking it with a grain of salt, what you say. So just don't be offended if I don't take your professional suggestion. Either way, I'm open-minded to critique, constructive criticism. My words, man. So anyway, stop relying on the big daddy, the big government to solve your problems. You use that as a space for to do what you got to do. But being this baby mama drama or being this baby daddy drama, saying I'm gonna get the government to get you, like, come on, dog. Like, unless it's necessary. That's what I said. It's a conversation. Unless it's necessary, like, what's it called? Child support. If it's necessary for you to do it, go for it. As in, this is a whole conversation. If the father isn't being a father, so to speak, and he's being an asshole, and he's holding all his money, and he's saying, fuck you, and fuck you, fuck that child I put in this earth. Fuck that, I fucked you, and it's your fault that you brought this child to. There's a lot of perspective with that too, because maybe the girl wanted that child on purpose, right? And then brought the child anyway to enslave that man. Who knows? The conversation go everywhere.
I mean, I think child support's just trash.
I think general. Child support,
because money doesn't make you a parent. Your dad can't be here, but he gave me coins. Like, bitch.
We're located in Philly. That's it. Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just, again, I'm not saying that you're taking anything personally. I'm just making sure I clear out this is what I am. I'm a mindful dad, and I'm dadsplaining in this conversation here. But regardless, what was I saying? Oh, the child support thing. We need to stop relying on shit like that to take care of our children. Because what my wife just said before she walked away is, we need to do shit ourselves together. If you are single and your father or the mother or the father of that child is separate from you, work together. Fuck what your relationship was at that point. Whatever happened, he cheated, she cheated. Okay, put that aside. It's not about y'all. Parenting involves the child. What my wife said earlier is not about you, motherfucker. It's about the child that needs you both to work together. Yeah, man, and it's hard because people are selfish. People are selfish. The mother or the father, they'll be selfish. Like, nah, fuck that. And it's like, okay, I get it. But this is the point of this conversation, man. This is the point of this podcast, is try to bring together collective thoughts, ideas, things that allow us to progress, perspective, man, disciplines, things that I learned. What's a leader? What is a leader? That's the questions that I bring to the table for you guys to wonder, so that, oh, I didn't think about it. What is a leader? What makes a great leader a great leader? Is that essential for great parenting? Stuff like that. I am the philosopher that will bring to you the questions that you should ask yourself.
I don't think parents are leaders. I think parents are like tour guides.
My wife just said, I don't know if you heard that. She doesn't think that I'm fucking up the quote already. She doesn't think that parents are great leaders. She thinks the parents are tour guides. And I argue with that in a sense, because what makes a great tour guide is a great leader. If you have a great leader that knows what the fuck he's talking about, or she is talking about their touring that they're trying to tour, they're like leading the followers that are touring the space. They're like, oh, yeah, that's a great tour guide, because he or she knows what the fuck they're talking about. That is what I'm trying to point out. I'm not talking about the leader. I'm a leader. You're a follower. No, it's understanding what you are. You're a human being. Understanding what you are, who you are, what your purpose is, and where you come from. All your knowledge that you've obtained throughout your life. Holy shit, it's right there behind my head. It's in my brain. What? I could take it out? Oh my God, that past experience I had when things happen in my past and I got beat the shit out of me, or my parents neglected me, or I was raised by a single mother, or whatever the fuck it was that you have that you can collect back. It's not to say, oh, boo-hoo, fuck my life, I had terrible childhood memories. Is no, you had terrible childhood memories to look back at, to learn, and say, hey, man, if I have a fucking child with me, I can take that child from the past and bring it to life and say, this is what I've been through, my son or daughter. I don't want you to go through that. I want you to do better. And there's a balance with that too, because kids need, what is that word I'm looking for? They need struggle. They need
adversity.
They need adversity, man. I am against bullying, but I'm sorry. Kids need some type of bullying. We need it. It's in our human nature to be bullied and then feel something like, what the fuck? I feel horrible. I was a person that was bullied. I was a person that, man, I just went through the shit that I felt like I didn't want to be here anymore. And I'm not saying that I want my kids to experience everything I experienced, but I want them to learn from my experiences. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, just to clarify though, I don't want to be people to be confused with the leading versus the guiding part that I said. Yeah. I said parents shouldn't be looked at as leaders. They're more like a tour guide. The difference with leading is that I'm at the front and I'm expecting you to follow me. Just listen and follow, listen and follow, listen and follow. Yeah. A tour guide, we're all together. Go to a museum and look at what the tour guides do.
Right.
Come with us. They're answering your questions. They're showing you stuff. They're letting you figure it out.
I like that. And
they're letting you figure it out yourself rather than follow me. I'm at the front.
She's right.
Stop talking. Get in line. Yeah. Follow me. We're tour guides.
Right. I like that. I like that. That's a great metaphor for that we're tour guides and we're teaching the kids they're like, what is this shit?
Right. We're showing them stuff and letting them figure it out for themselves.
We're like fucking, what's his, I don't remember his quote, but Mufasa from when Mufasa was talking to Simba, and just that one scene is perfect, man. When he's talking to Simba about the skies and shit, that's like a perfect metaphor for like parents teaching kids about this beautiful planet that we live on. And hey, oh look, there's some ugliness here too. You need to learn about the ugliness, of course. We need to not only focus on the beauty and everything's positive.
Which is why,
positive.
And we don't raise our kids like that.
No, we don't.
We're honest. We teach them that people are trash.
Yep, people
Things
are trash.
can happen to them.
People are beautiful.
We don't raise them in that little safe space bubble of unrealistic expectations and then expect them to live by themselves and not know how to cope with the world around them because their parents raised them in a bubble. No.
Right. We can strive for this improvement of our society, but just know, this is absolutely, I'm not going to say this is a fact, but I just want to say, just think about it with perspective. Good and evil, that will always exist for as long as humans live, I think. So what's your opinion on participation trophies? Oh my God, I kind of feel like... Let me read up. Anyway, Joseph, he mentioned that we have to be examples to follow, and I agree with that, sir. But this Nana said, so what's your opinion on participation trophies? And I kind of feel like, what does that say?
It sets most kids up for failure later on in life because they have unrealistic expectations of, I've been here 2 years at this job. I should get a promotion. No, you're late all the time. Right. You're an asshole, and you call out all the time.
Thank you, Joe.
You know what I mean?
Exactly, right. We need to address that. This participation trophy is not about... It's not about just saying, oh, we shouldn't give kids things to be happy about and blah, blah. It's the balance, man. It's not just giving them the fucking trophy.
It's getting rid of adversity, what you were just talking about.
Earning something. You're getting rid of that struggle. I love... I'm losing his name now. Thomas Jefferson? Is that who said it?
Maybe. Yeah, the quote, yeah.
Without struggle, there's no progress. That's one of my favorite quotes since I grew up. And that's what I had to rely on when I said, fuck, I'm struggling. I hate my life. Without struggle, there's no progress. All right. You're right. Stop being a bitch. All right, move on. This is what we need to learn. It's not about being a man. Oh, I'm macho. It's about
macho
it's not about
man.
being a woman. Oh, get in the kitchen or whatever. I was trying to go with a joke, but I fucked it up. Overall,
oh my God, your dad jokes are not working.
My dad jokes are fucking up. But overall, it's about understanding that without struggle, there's no progress. Right now, today, society is like all over the place. There's a struggle all over the place, and we're not gonna go there. But overall, we need to understand that is always gonna exist. Good. Evil, it's gonna happen.
Damn, why you flip me off?
I didn't mean to flip you off. That was the second finger.
Well, you have something right here, by the way, too.
That was evil. The middle finger is evil.
No, look, you gotta get it off.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're welcome.
My bad. I got a little sweat on my face.
Oh,
anyway, that concludes our show. Thank you for watching. For those that watched, thank you for joining us.
Let's close with my quote.
Oh, we're gonna close with the quote.
It's parenting.
So she's gonna close with the quote, and I'm gonna end it after that. But again. This is the Mindful Dadsplaining episode 1, and we're going to work our way up, and I'm going to reach out to people and step up. Don't be scared. Stop the shit. This is the problem with people, is that we're scared. We're scared of getting canceled. We're scared to fucking speak our minds.
Who? I'm not. I don't
We're scared to use our right to speak freely because we're scared that people are going to judge us.
But then we scream about freedom of speech.
But then we talk about, yeah, exactly. We talk about freedom of speech. That's another subject. But anyway, you can close the show, please. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. My wife, thank you.
Oh, my God. You're welcome.
To her.
So
Hands
cool.
to her. Clap.
Yay. Clap for me. You're clapping for me.
Thank you. She started this, by the way. She came out I thought of the idea, and she thought of the name Dadsplaining. And then I was like, Mindful Dads, whatever. It went what it went, and now it's Mindful Dadsplaining. I love it. Thank you. So go ahead. Close it out with your episode.
So just a quote to close this up. So let it sit in your basal ganglia, the part of your brain, which I think is for memory.
Okay. I have to learn
about
that, by
the quote is, keep in mind as a parent that you're not just raising your kids, you are raising your grandkids' parents.
Deep.
Boom.
Boom.
Mind fucking blown.
Bye, guys. We love you.